Howdy folks, well you know how we moved from South Africa to Vancouver because it's safer here? Murphy's Law, we got burgled last night. Luckily we have one of these Nest door cams, so it caught the guy while he was trying to look in the window and see what's going on there, and we got it all on camera. He did steal my bicycle, so please share this video. Let's see if we can find this guy. Maybe somebody knows him. If you do know him, just contact us, contact the West Vancouver police, but please share it far and wide. So let me show you what he looks like. Hello? Hey, leave the bicycle, you bastard. Okay, so as you can see, we weren't his first stop, judging by his backpack that was so full. And you know, I know people are going to be saying like, why didn't you jump out? Why didn't you run out? Why did you just say hello? Well, here's the story. You know, I woke up at pretty much about 5:30, stumbled to the toilet for my morning routine, you know, and as I sat down and that, you know, I was just like, ugh, and then the next moment the doorbell goes, there's somebody, the Nest thing goes, there's somebody at the front door. So I'm still asleep, enjoying sweet release, and then I look at it and I see that there's this person, and I was kind of, what the hell is this guy doing here? I'm kind of, you know, I was still asleep, and then I'm like, hello, and as I say hello and he runs it, or he walks away and he grabs the bike, I realize the asshole's stealing the bike. So I mean, that was it. Belinda actually heard me. I said, the guy's stealing the bike. So she ran out, but by then he was already gone. I quickly finished up and ran out, jumped in the car, started driving around to find him. But, you know, show you how fast asleep I still was. I was about 2 blocks away when I realized I didn't put my glasses on. So the only way I'm going to find the guy is by running over him, because I can't see much. So I came back home, got my glasses, got back in the car and started driving around. But there's just so many parks and so many forests and so many different directions he could have gone from here. Anyway, well, I tried, because I was thinking, well, where does most of the stolen stuff around this area end up? West Hastings, you know, there in those encampments and things. So I thought, well, if he's going to go there, he's got to go across the Lionsgate Bridge. So I I drove across the bridge to see if there's any bicycles there, and there were 3 people with bicycles. One was clearly a woman, one was clearly a guy with a very fancy riding outfit, and the other guy kind of almost looked like it could be him. It was just a little bit of a dark spot. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to go over the bridge, and on the other side I'm just going to pull off and wait for him. And then, of course, you know, there's no place to pull off. So I get to the other side of the bridge and I take this little road, and then there's no parking. And next thing I'm in Stanley Park, driving around like a maniac. Anyway, long story short, I didn't find the guy. In the meantime, Belinda called the cops, and she reported it, and she said within 3 rings, West Van police answered. The guy asked a bunch of questions. He said, when did it happen? She said, right now. He asked for a description and anything, and then he said the cops would phone back later. So a cop phoned her a little bit later, a couple of hours later, and this is the most concerning part. So let me just take a step back. Apparently, when I went out and checked, this guy, you know, before the camera picked him up, he came into the carport, and in the carport there was a box full of our books, our Innovate books. So he opened the box, obviously trying to see if there's anything valuable in there. Now these books are wrapped in a very smooth plastic, so he handled a few of these books. There's fingerprints all over the books. He actually opened a book and paged through it. He's obviously interested in the Vancouver innovation tech scene or something, so he kind of paged through the book and he left it over there, and that's when he came around and the camera picked him up. So when we called the cops, we were like, okay guys, we've got video footage. You can see his face. I can see that he wasn't wearing gloves. He handled all of these things, so there's fingerprints there, you know, all of that. And the cop says, you know, unfortunately we're short-staffed, we don't have people, so we won't be sending anybody to take fingerprints. And I get it. I mean, it's a bicycle, it's not a life-threatening crime, it's nothing serious. But you know what, that's how it starts. You know, in South Africa they don't even come out, you know, for anything except an armed robbery anymore, you know, and sometimes even for that they're late. So, you know, that is concerning. I mean, the fact that I've always believed that in the Western world or in Canada, the cops are going to make sure that they jump on everything and that they use all the leads and that they try and catch people. But I guess, you know, the problem is it's a small crime. It's like a petty crime. It's a $500 bicycle. It's not the end of the world. There was no violence involved. So yeah, but not ideal. Although, look, it changes a lot of things now on another note, because the reality is we've been, since we got here, it took us a year and a half or a year to actually start relaxing and being like, okay, we are in a safe place, we're good. And now suddenly all of that changes again, you know, because now we are like, oh crap, now we need to lock the doors, and now we need to lock the bicycles, and we can't leave anything outside, and now I'm going to go buy another camera and an alarm, because, you know, the reality is, coming from South Africa where we had a couple of bad experiences, suddenly all of those old memories are being stirred again. They like, ah shit, you think you're safe now, hey, now you're not, you know. Which is an absolute pain in the ass. But we are fighting it because, you know what, in reality we are safe. I mean, yes, we had a night prowler, and yes, he stole the bicycle, and yes, there's nothing cool about that. But then again, I just think back, I saw a video from a couple of weeks ago in South Africa, I'll see if I can put it in here, where there's the guy on his cameras recording 6 or 7 guys with AK-47s and guns coming through his gate, you know. Slightly different situation, I guess. Well, not slightly, vastly different. This guy, I actually felt comfortable running outside to try and find him, and I'm sure Belinda actually felt comfortable because she ran out before I could finish to see if he was still here. So yes, you know, I mean, this guy is just probably somebody homeless or struggling that's just prowling around at night and picking up stuff that's easy to get. Because Belinda, when she spoke to the cop, she actually said to him, because Belinda was saying that on Nextdoor, the local social media, a lot of people are posting about things getting stolen at night and stolen from their driveways. No burglaries, they're not breaking anything, they just like loose stuff goes missing, and you know, oftentimes they get caught on camera, so there's obviously some movement or an uptick on it. So when Belinda spoke to the cop, she said, hey, is there an uptick in this sort of crime? Do we need to be worried? And the guy said, look, I can't tell you any statistics. I'm not allowed to give you any information. What I can tell you is that I have a whole lot of files for this kind of crime on my desk. So, I mean, that answers your question. And again, I suppose it is financial hardship. I mean, it is happening. The time is... you know, times are tough, people are losing their jobs, things are difficult, and that is always the start of crap like this. Anyway, not great, but it happened. Alright folks, have a good one. Cheers.